Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick update on my experience with the Microsoft Surface Go. Now, this is a 10-inch tablet powered by an Intel Pentium Gold processor, has 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gig NVMe SSD, and it has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, 8 megapixel rear camera, and of course a completely adjustable kickstand, as well as a micro SD card slot underneath. It has a Type-C port, as well as a headphone jack, and that is pretty much it. $550 gets you just what you're looking at here. For those of you that don't like that I have CNN up, this is not a political channel. Please don't make it one. What I can tell you so far is that battery life is in line with Microsoft's claims. I've been getting, I would say, roughly about 8 hours. They claim 9. And so for those of you wondering if battery life is in line, it is. No question about it that the performance in Microsoft's Edge browser is superior to that of Chrome. That is not a surprise. Chrome is a memory hog to begin with, even though it is my browser of choice. It won't be for many of you, especially if you pick this tablet up. Another thing I want to talk about, and I'll flip over to Chrome. Another thing I want to talk about is the migration to Windows 10, because out of the box, you do not have Windows 10. Okay, you will be looking, and you're seeing loading time for Chrome right now, and I'm going, what's going on? Out of the box, you have Windows 10S, and I will tell you right now that Windows 10S, for those of you unfamiliar, this was introduced with Microsoft's Surface laptop. The idea was essentially to give you a platform that was the light version of Windows. Good for education, good for other things of that nature. And so far, in my experience, it's pretty much useless. So I'm going to, again, go to CNN. You'll see what the load time is like. Bear in mind, I'm in the same exact space as my router. 300 down, 20 up, and as I was mentioning, the performance in Chrome is just not desirable. I know the page is still loading, but you're better off definitely sticking with Edge. This isn't breaking news, by the way, when it comes to Surface products, but because this is such a low-powered product, that's the other thing. I'm going to go ahead and open up ESPN, and you'll see what that's like, and then I'll do the same on Edge. Now, back to what I was saying. In order to actually get this tablet up and running in Windows 10, wow, was it a pain in the ass. So know that in advance, that if you plan on, like myself, immediately taking this over to Windows 10, you are going to be going through various hurdles. I say that because essentially what happens is, after you've done all of the applicable updates through Microsoft out of the box, which took roughly an hour or so, give or take. And by the way, right now I am running in the high performance mode, for those of you that are curious. But once I was done with that, then the tablet, Microsoft, will point you at a link to their store, the Microsoft App Store, in order to basically migrate to Windows 10. Well, as soon as I touched that, I, of course, got the message that that was out of date, and I had to update the Microsoft Store application on the tablet. So they didn't even ship it with an actual application ready for prime time to migrate you to Windows 10. So you have to update that. Then when that is finished, you can finally upgrade this tablet. And I do mean upgrade because, after all, for me personally, the beauty of it is that it is a Windows 10 machine at the end of the day, albeit a slow one, underpowered, still competent and capable. Now, is it my first choice? I wouldn't say that. I mean, the fact that I can't run Chrome is already a bad sign for me. At this price point, yes, you have the iPad as an option. Of course, the Galaxy Tab S3 or 4 is an option. Those are more expensive options, not the S3. But in general, let's go to the NFL. Not really interested in baseball. That should have permit me. Go to my team, the G-Men. And I'm going to do this in Edge as well. I'm excited about the Giants, excited about the football season. Also not interested in making this a political discussion. But I'm going to close this out because you can see Chrome is just, it's struggling. There's no question about it. Let's get over to Edge and see how this does. I'm going to close out this. This is one example of why I really like having this right underneath my 49-inch Samsung Ultra Wide, is that I literally have a third screen, a small screen, albeit, where I can monitor stuff. It doesn't mean it's a keeper for me, though. I'm just saying it's another nicety. And, of course, you could do that with one of the other tablet options out there, but I'm not going to have the flexibility that I will with the Windows 10 operating system. A lot of people view Windows 10, on the other hand, as being baggage and a problem, and I understand why, but as I was saying, I came here for a reason, which was to show you what it could do. So let's actually do that. So if I go ahead and load up, well, it's bugging out on me a little bit there. If I go ahead and load up ESPN, you'll see what the load time is like. Well, made a mistake there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, so far it's been infinitely faster on Edge, and I know Edge actually does benchmark better than Chrome, but of course your hardware is going to reflect how well you're able to handle things. But everything is so much smoother, and your battery life will also fare better with Edge. And of course, Microsoft wants your content consumption and usage to be in their hemisphere. They're not looking for you to have to lean on Chrome, but they know that if you're comfortable with it, you're going to use it. Now, I don't think they intentionally made the Microsoft Go fail at operating Chrome. I just think it's, again, a matter of resources, and you can see that in the way that Edge operates as opposed to Chrome. And remember, this is a desktop browser, just as Chrome is, no different. I'll do a fresh load up of CNN. Again, take it easy, you political junkies. And even though it's already open, and you'll just see, even while loading, we're not bugging out. Pinch to zoom, performance is smooth. I don't think, if I touch this, we'll see if we get any video to play back. This is a lovely story. Again, let's not get political, even though I picked a tab for it. Actually, I may just jump back to ESPN. And this way you can just hate on my Giants. Let's go back one more. Speaker output from this is decent. It's not amazing. I would say that it's good. On the Tab S3, the speaker performance was supposed to be fantastic. It wasn't. Even though it wasn't just coming out of the bottom, it was more of an echo, I would say, than what it was being marketed as. Oh, of course, that had to happen. Let's go NFL, Giants. We'll see if I can get a piece of video here to play. I may not be able to. Again, performance with Edge is just much better. But still, the fact that there's the audio, you're not going to really have an idea of the quality of the audio because I'm using, a microphone that's not actually near it, and that sounded like it was a Madden ad playing. I'm still waiting to even see the video populate that it was overlaying, and there it is. So, again, even with Edge, not a perfect experience. And what I was mentioning before is that once you throw in the type cover and a mouse, which I think most people are going to feel they need, if not also possibly the pen, you are right there neck and neck with the current M version, the lowest end version of the current Surface Pro. And, of course, this is cute, much smaller, but when it comes to practical capability, I think you're going to be better off, obviously, with the Surface Pro than the Surface Go. So that's just my initial impression. I haven't tried loading up any games on here. I've just been browsing the web, using it basically as I would as if it were an iPad or, again, a Android-driven tablet like the Galaxy Tab S3 or 4. When the time comes, which will probably be sometime this week, I will install some games. That's something that does, again, differentiate the Surface Go from all of the competition. They just simply cannot do that. But whether or not that's going to actually make a real world difference about whether or not I'd recommend this is unlikely, because even at the tablet base, and again, this is the most expensive version of the Surface Go that you can buy, things are a little bit wonky. They work, but I think it's a little underpowered. I have no other way of putting it. I think that, the build quality is great. The look and feel is fantastic. The kickstand is great. I don't think the bezels are a big deal. They give you somewhere to actually put your hands when you're holding the tablet. But it seems like the processor is that bottleneck. And that's why, in my unboxing, I said, don't even bother looking at the $399 version, because it's only going to make the performance of this device inferior, and it really doesn't have any room, in my opinion, to get worse. And that's why I still do not recommend the $400 4 gig of RAM, 64 gig option. If you're going to go with the Surface Go, this is still the direction I would head, but I would sooner at this point, in my experience with the Surface Go, go to the entry level of the Surface Pro. And that's only going to go down in price once new models are released, with the latest generation of Intel CPUs, which should be very interesting when Microsoft does finally bring that to the table, which I think is probably right around the corner, because holiday season is, and that's always when we see the new goodies. But that pretty much is it. I just wanted to give you some impressions, tell you what I thought of the Go so far. Enjoy that reflection of the camera. It's a nice tablet. Is it better for simple content consumption than the other options out there? Maybe, maybe not. That's where things are at for me right now. But it'll take some more time with it for me to really become truly, I would say, convinced that the Surface Go actually is a better purchase, as I've already mentioned, than going with the entry-level Surface Pro. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.